Hey everyone, ready to explore something really thought-provoking with me today?
Absolutely.
We're doing a deep dive into sustainable travel.
Love it.
And before you think, oh no, not another lecture on reusable water bottles,
Right.
I hear you.
Yeah.
We're going way beyond the basics today. We're uncovering why this whole idea of traveling sustainably isn't just a trend,
Yeah.
it's something that actually matters.
It really is about so much more than just the environment, isn't it?
Hmm.
It's about approaching travel with this sense of respect.
Yeah.
Not just for the planet itself, but for the cultures we encounter and the communities who call these amazing destinations home.
You know, I was looking at some stats earlier, and honestly, one stopped me in my tracks.
Oh.
Tourism contributes a whopping 8%
Wow.
of global carbon emissions.
Wow.
That's like
But you-
everyone on the planet
Yeah.
driving a car for a year
Oh, wow.
just from travel.
Wow.
It's kind of hard to wrap your head around, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think that's where it hits home for a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
It's easy to think our individual travel choices are just a drop in the bucket.
Right.
But when you multiply that by millions of travelers,
Yeah.
suddenly you see this massive impact on climate change.
Yeah.
And it makes you realize our choices really do have a ripple effect.
It really makes you stop and think, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's like, okay, we all want to explore the world,
Right.
but not at the cost of destroying it in the process.
Yeah.
So how do we find that balance?
Yeah.
Where do we even begin?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't
Yeah.
it? And the good news is it doesn't have to be this overwhelming all-or-nothing thing.
Right.
Sustainable travel is all about taking small steps,
Okay.
making conscious choices that add up over time.
Mm,
And it starts with understanding that every flight,
right.
every hotel, stay, even the souvenirs we pick up, they all play a part.
So are you saying we should just like never fly anywhere ever again?
Right.
Because as much as I love a good train ride, some places are pretty hard to reach without hopping on a plane.
I hear you. I love exploring new places too. And let's be realistic, flying is sometimes unavoidable.
Right.
It's more about being mindful of our flight choices.
Okay.
For example, did you know that direct flights are actually a greener option?
Wait, really?
Yeah.
I thought it was all about the airline you choose.
Okay.
Like some are more eco-friendly than others.
That's a factor for sure.
Okay.
But the truth is,
Okay.
takeoffs and landings are the most fuel-intensive parts of a flight.
Oh,
So by choosing a direct flight,
okay.
you're eliminating those extra takeoffs and landings, which means less fuel consumption overall.
Wow, that's a game changer.
Right.
I never thought about it that way before.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so direct flights whenever possible.
Right.
But what about those times when a layover is unavoidable?
Yeah.
How do we make smarter choices then?
Research is key.
Okay.
Take a little time to look into different airlines and their sustainability practices.
Okay.
You might be surprised to discover that some are investing in more fuel-efficient aircraft,
Oh, wow.
optimizing their routes for minimal fuel burn,
Okay.
and even offering carbon offset programs.
Carbon offsetting, that's a whole other conversation.
Right.
Isn't that a bit like saying, oops, I polluted, but here's some money to make up for it?
There's definitely a debate about the effectiveness of carbon offsetting,
Okay.
and it shouldn't be seen as a free pass to pollute without consequence.
Right.
However, it can be a way to take some responsibility for the emissions we generate,
Okay.
while supporting projects that promote renewable energy or reforestation efforts.
So it's not a perfect solution, but it's a step in the right direction.
Exactly.
Okay.
It's about acknowledging our impact and looking for ways to contribute to a solution, even if those solutions are still evolving.
Right.
And, even beyond the flights themselves.
Yeah.
There are so many ways to make more sustainable choices once we arrive at our destination.
So true. It's easy to forget about all the choices we make once we're on the ground. Yeah.
Caught up in the excitement of exploring a new place.
Yeah.
Speaking of exploring, what are your thoughts on transportation once you've landed?
It's a great point. So often we default to taxis or rental cars without thinking twice.
Right.
But honestly, public transportation can be a fantastic way to experience a destination like a local.
Yeah.
Plus, it often works out way cheaper than taxis, which is always a bonus.
And let's not forget about train travel. I'm picturing those scenic routes through the European countryside.
Right.
Pure magic.
Europe really has mastered the art of train travel.
They have.
It's not just a greener alternative to flying there. It's often the more enjoyable option.
Right.
You can relax, enjoy the scenery, maybe even get some work done, all while minimizing your impact.
Okay, I'm sold on train travel.
Good.
But let's talk about where we rest our heads after a long day of exploring
Okay.
eco-lodges and Those dreamy tree houses we talked about before.
Yeah.
Sign me up.
They're definitely having a moment, and for good reason.
So many incredible eco-friendly accommodations are popping up worldwide, offering a unique and sustainable way to experience a destination.
But are we talking about roughing it here, or are these places actually comfortable?
Oh, they're definitely comfortable, often even luxurious. Think stunning designs, locally sourced meals,
Wow.
and experiences that truly connect you with nature and the local community.
Amazing.
And the best part, they achieve all of this while minimizing their environmental footprint.
Okay, now you're just teasing me. How do they actually pull that off? Give me the inside scoop.
It's all about the details. They often use sustainable building materials, renewable energy sources like solar power,
Okay.
and water conservation systems. Plus, they prioritize hiring local staff and sourcing everything they can from the surrounding community.
So it's not just about being eco-friendly, it's about supporting the local economy and culture as well.
Exactly.
That's incredible. But with all the greenwashing out there, how can we be sure a place is truly walking the walk when it comes to sustainability?
You're right. It's tough to tell sometimes.
Yeah.
Look for accommodations with reputable certifications like Green Key or EarthCheck.
Okay.
These certifications have specific environmental standards, so, they've been vetted by experts.
Good to know. But what about those times when an eco-lodge isn't in the cards? Maybe for budget reasons or location.
Yeah.
Are there ways to be more sustainable even if you're staying in a standard hotel?
Absolutely. Even small actions can make a difference.
Like what?
Decline daily housekeeping to save water and energy, and make sure to turn off lights, heating, or air conditioning when you leave your room.
Those are such simple things, but they really add up, don't they?
They do.
It's all about being mindful even when we're on vacation.
Right.
But let's shift gears a bit and talk about the cultural aspect of sustainable travel.
Okay.
It's one thing to choose eco-friendly options, but how do we make sure we're being respectful travelers and not just tourists?
That's where the mindful part of sustainable travel becomes so crucial.
Right.
It's about being aware of our impact on the places we visit and the people who live there, making choices that benefit both.
So more than just snapping a few photos and moving on, right?
Exactly. Even small gestures go a long way.
Okay.
Learning a few basic phrases in the local language shows respect and willingness to engage.
Oh, that's a good one.
And ask before taking photos, people. Not everyone is comfortable with that.
It's about making those human connections right. Treating people with respect just like we'd want to be treated in their shoes.
Exactly.
And speaking of connecting with local culture, can we talk about food? Trying new cuisines is one of my favorite parts of traveling.
Mine too. It's such a fun and delicious way to experience a new place.
It is.
And choosing to eat locally has a ripple effect.
Okay.
You're supporting local businesses, getting a taste of authentic flavors, and minimizing your environmental impact compared to eating at international chain restaurants.
You know, some of my most memorable meals have been at those hole-in-the-wall places you'd never find in a guidebook.
Right.
They're often family-run using recipes passed down through generations. It's a whole different experience.
Absolutely. And those are the experiences that often stay with us long after we return home.
They do.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm getting hungry just thinking about it. But before we get too sidetracked, let's talk about souvenirs.
Okay.
I love bringing back little mementos, but I'd hate to contribute to the mass-produced souvenir problem. What are your thoughts on finding sustainable souvenirs?
It's a great question. Those mass-produced trinkets often end up forgotten in a drawer somewhere.
Right.
Instead, why not seek out locally made crafts or artwork?
Oh.
You'll have a unique and meaningful souvenir that tells a story.
Yeah.
Plus, you'll be directly supporting local artisans.
So it's about quality over quantity.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. Speaking of things we bring back from our travels, let's talk packing.
Okay.
I have to admit I'm a bit of an overpacker.
Aren't we all?
Does it really make that much of a difference what we pack when it comes to sustainable travel?
You might be surprised. Packing lighter is actually a really effective way to reduce your environmental impact, especially when flying.
Wait, really? I thought that was just about avoiding extra baggage fees.
It's about the weight of the plane.
Oh.
The heavier the aircraft, the more fuel it needs, which means more emissions.
Oh, wow.
So by packing only what we truly need, we're contributing to a more fuel-efficient flight.
That's amazing. I never even made that connection before.
Yeah.
So we're aiming for a minimalist suitcase then. What about all those travel essentials?
That's where those reusable items come in. Reusable water bottles, shopping bags, food containers, they're all essential for sustainable travel.
I've definitely been guilty of tossing a few plastic water bottles in my day.
Yeah.
But you're right, those little swaps make a difference.
They do.
Are there any other swaps you'd recommend?
Even those tiny hotel toiletries add up.
Oh, yeah.
Have you ever tried shampoo and conditioner bars?
I have, actually, and I
Well,
was pleasantly surprised.
right.
Their compact lasts surprisingly long,
Mm-hmm.
and they don't weigh down my toiletry bag.
Right.
Other eco-friendly swaps can we make when it comes to toiletries?
So many. Think bamboo toothbrushes, solid soap bars,
Oh, yeah.
even refillable makeup compacts.
Okay.
It's amazing how many sustainable options are out there these days.
It's like a whole new world of travel essentials to discover.
It is.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here.
We have.
From mindful flight choices to eco-friendly accommodations,
Right.
embracing local experiences, and even packing lighter.
Yeah.
But it can feel a bit overwhelming, right? Like,
Yeah.
where do we even begin?
It definitely is a journey,
Yeah.
and it looks different for everyone.
Right.
The most important thing is to start somewhere,
Okay.
even if it's just one small change at a time.
So it's not about being perfectly sustainable overnight. It's
Right.
about making conscious choices and gradually shifting our mindset.
Exactly. Every little bit counts.
Okay.
Maybe this trip you commit to packing a reusable water bottle,
Mm-hmm.
or you research airline sustainability practices before booking a flight.
Right.
Or maybe you challenge yourself to try one new public transportation system.
I love those ideas. Small steps lead to big changes, right?
They do.
It makes me wonder, what are some of the most inspiring examples of sustainable travel you've come across?
Oh, wow.
Places or companies that are truly pushing the boundaries.
There are so many. I'm particularly inspired by the rise of regenerative tourism.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I haven't heard of that.
It goes beyond just minimizing negative impact.
Okay.
It's about actively restoring and giving back to the destinations we visit.
So it's about leaving a place better than we found it.
Yeah.
Tell me more.
Imagine hotels that not only conserve water, but also invest in restoring local waterways,
Wow.
or tour operators that support community-led conservation projects.
Amazing.
It's about creating a positive footprint, not just reducing a negative one.
That's incredible. It reframes the whole idea of travel, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's not just about what we experience.
Right.
It's about the legacy we leave behind.
Exactly. Sustainable travel is about preserving the beauty and wonder of this planet.
Yeah.
Not just for us, but for generations to come.
I think that's a beautiful note to end on.
It is.
It's been such an eye-opening conversation, and I feel truly inspired to approach my own travels with a renewed sense of purpose and responsibility.
Me too. And remember, it's a journey, not a destination.
Well said.
Every step we take towards more sustainable travel choices makes a difference.
So tell me, fellow explorers,
Yes.
what one change will you make on your next adventure? Keep that question in mind as you plan your next getaway. Until then, safe travels, and may your journeys be filled with wonder and a deep respect for this incredible planet we call home.